Okay. Hello guys. Hail and Merry Meet to everybody. It's MicheleMarieDalene. Today, I'm going to attempt to talk about my Astrological Natal Chart. Now, the raw chart is over 33 pages long. There's no way in friggin' hell I'm going to read 33 pages of notes on camera. First of all, my poor eyes can't take it. And second of all, it's just too damn big. So what I'm going to do, without getting it too complicated, I'm going to get to the basics of the chart. We're going to talk about the symbols. We're going to talk briefly what they mean. And so first, let's go through, and it talks about the houses. I'm just going to briefly go through the brief notes here. It says here, the following table shows the position of the planets in your chart that is assigned in degrees. You'll also find the sign of your ascendant and the signs of the cusp of each house in your natal chart, only if the birth time is known, which I did enter that. The Roman numerals refer to the houses, where the ascendant is also the first house, and the midheaven is also in the 10th house. For example, if your sign Taurus is next to Mars, you know your Mars is in Taurus. If the sign Libra is next to Uranus, you know that your Venus is in Libra. Okay, I'm not going to go into all the details, so we'll just go through the chart. All right, so let's start with the first and the foremost one. My sun sign is Aquarius. My moon sign is Leo. By the way, in case you didn't know that. Okay, so I'm a Leo in my moon sign. My Mercury sign is Aquarius. And my Venus sign is Capricorn. Again, that's not surprising considering my sister is Capricorn. And she was born in January. My Mars sign is Pisces. My Jupiter sign is Virgo. Oh, yes, the dreaded V. Yeah, I have Virgo on my chart. I have a lot of Virgo, actually. My Saturn is Aries. My Uranus is Virgo. Again, Neptune is Scorpio. People, peace, would love that. My Lilith sign is... my Pluto is Virgo. My Lilith is Taurus. My end node is Aries. I don't know what that means. I'm just going to try to figure this out as we go. My ascending sign is Sagittarius, and my second house is Capricorn. My third house is Pisces. My fourth house is Aries. Fifth house is Taurus. Sixth house is Gemini. Seventh house is Gemini. Eighth house is Cancer. Ninth house is Virgo. XMC is Libra, which I think means Mars, I guess, middle heaven. And, of course, 11th house is Scorpio, 12th house is Sagittarius. So, yeah, I got a lot of different things in my chart. So let's just get to the nitty-gritty because of time. And I don't want to make this a 4-hour video. I could talk all night long about this chart, and you probably would be bored to tears. And I don't think you got that kind of patience. So let's go through the basics here. Skip all this chart information. It's all on the internet. You can grab my chart. I already have it up here. Power of Fortune and the South Nodes. I don't need to get into it. It just gets confusing as friggin' hell. Let's talk about the Sun is in Aquarius. This is the one you're going to want to know. This is one of the standout characteristics of those born under the Sun sign of Aquarius is their unwillingness to follow the beaten track. With advancement and progress on their minds, there can be an irrelevance to old and outdated ways of thinking and doing things. Many Aquarians aim to free themselves of personal and social conditioning. Although open to change in theory, Aquarians can be surprisingly stubborn. Their idealism runs strong, but they can be very fixed in their opinions. Often a bit aloof and even standoffish, Aquarius nonetheless are usually well-liked. They are curious and observant and tolerant in a broad sense. Prejudice and bias is offensive to the typical Aquarian. Aquarians are generally very clever, witty, and intellectual. They value progress and frankness. It is difficult to throw Aquarius for a loop. They're generally on top of things. There is a bit of a reformer in Aquarius. They will try to get you to see through superficiality and encourage you to be open and forthright. Be true to yourself and don't follow the crowd or mottos we easily associate with the sign. Aquarius need space and value personal freedom. Any attempts to box them in will likely fail. They are happily return the favor and will treat people in all walks of life as equals. Equality and fairness are hallmarks of the sign. If you're quirky and different, all the better. That's the short description here. I think the long one does a better job, but it says she's independent, autonomous, and has progressive ideas. Weaknesses is unusual, rebellious, and revolutionary spirit. I don't see that as a weakness. Sorry, I don't. Maybe to other people. And I have an Aquarius with a Sagittarian ascent. I want to just briefly explain that because that's kind of confusing. She is confident, charismatic, and lively. She can be opinionated, restless, and stubborn, but also bright and ready for an experience. Hopefully, there's a strong earth in her chart to ground her, full of ideas, but not always ready to follow through on them. She is independent but friendly. Freedom means everything to her. She celebrates the individual and is truly humanitarian. Can be an excellent teacher or guide. She loves to enlighten others, sometimes blunt in her desire for truth. Yes, that's true. Now we're talking about the houses. I want to skip over this because this gets so confusing. They talk about conjunctions. They talk about everything. I'm just going to skip over this because of time. I don't want to spend 4 years trying to explain the houses. It just take forever to go through. The moon is Leo. All right. Depending on the other positions of the chart, the moon is in Leo. People are not necessarily outgoing. When they feel comfortable, they do like to center of attention. That is, they like being in the spotlight in the comfort of their own homes and with family and friends. They enjoy entertaining others and often take the role of comic. Less often feel need to organize and even control the families and friends. They have an inner mission to set things right and timidly like to oversee the goings-on of their little circle. This is rather creative position of the moon. At the very least, moon in Leo people want to create and entertain. They can be rather lazy at times and a little bossy too. Generally, though, they have a deep need to treat others fairly and justly. Lunar Leos require lots and lots of love and care in order to function well in this world. When they feel slighted, these people can be dramatic in their emotional displays. When their pride has been hurt, they are given to big scenes and sulking. They rarely happens in public. However, lunar Leos are too concerned about the image to make splashy scenes outside of the comfort of their own homes. In public, they prefer to take things in dignified ways. At home, however, they're given big displays of emotional drama. These scenes generally don't last too long. However, lunar Leos are often personally popular folk and are valued for their integrity, strong sense of justice. Generally, it is easy to reason with a lunar lion, appealing to their well-developed sense of fairness. Usually works well. Yeah. The only thing is when we talk about our homes or our small little circles, don't forget, I consider my YouTube channel kind of as my small circle. We usually on the average of about 10 people on the chat, on the live streams, and so yeah, sometimes I tend to show my lunar side of my emotional, which sometimes gets people really kind of like frustrated. Why this loner will go out of her way and sulk on camera. It's just, I consider you, let's put it this way, if I'm sulking on camera, it's because I consider you to be like family, even the trolls. So yeah, don't take it in a bad way. The short description says she is brave, knowing how to take risks and processing the courage of her convictions, honest, imposing, and sharp. She has a great sense of and respect for justice, organizational sense, selectivity with friends, but not overly influenced by them, taste for splendor, potential issues, changing and numerous affections, emotionally demanding and proud, brooding when attention is not forthcoming. The moon in the 8th house. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this now. See, now the houses are all mixed up. It's kind of want to just kind of get this thing here. I'm going to go right to the house descriptions in order because they get into all this other stuff. Trine, sextiles, Mercury, and Aquarius. Okay. Not necessarily loud or flamboyant, but that's a quiet way of stirring others up, maybe late in exposing what she deems biases and other ways of thinking, very quick to contradict others and to offer a different perspective. She enjoys intellectual debates, amazing powers of observation, and his quirky way of thinking at the world. Humorous and interesting, likes practical jokes and raising eyebrows, very fair and objective. No, actually, I don't like practical jokes because of my Asperger's. I can't sometimes tell the difference. Okay, so again, it goes into the houses and where they are assigned. I'm going to skip that because I want to go back to that a little later on. Venus represents the interest in emotions and exchange and strong with others. Venus is in Capricorn. Venus in Capricorn people will try to win your heart by displaying self-control, presence of mind, and responsible behavior. These lovers want you to know that they're goal-oriented, witty, savvy, and controlled. Nobody can get the best of them. They want you to see just how competent they are. They like some measure of predictability in the relationships as they are cautious in love. Venus in Capricorn people project an aura of competency and their loner-like behavior can be attractive in a cool way. They don't go gaga in love, or at least they don't express it as much. Their lovers may be complaining that Venus and Capricorn are a little too practical and deliberate. Certainly, they can come across as lacking warmth and spontaneity. Truth is, they can be rather romantic souls who yearn for a partner to share their lives with. Others' image of their relationship matters to them. They are conservative and willing to commit. Venus and Capricorn people are attracted to serious, goal-oriented lovers. That's the situation, Patty. They are a little shy in matters of the heart, but they don't want you to know it. If you like knowing where your relationship is headed, you'll be mighty pleased with Venus and Capricorn. These people plan ahead in love, and unlike Venus and Pisces, they will let you know exactly where they and the relationship are headed. Pleasing Venus and Capricorn involves showing them you're practical and realistic. They want to impress you with the things that they do, appreciate their, quote, saving for a rainy day attitude, and be aware that they want to show you off in a quiet way. Okay, now we're going to dump into Venus in the house. So I'm going to skip over this right now because I want to just get to some of the other main things in the sextile. I don't want to get into that right now. I don't want to talk about trine. I'm just trying to skip over the basic here. Mars represents the desire for action and physical energy. Mars is in Pisces, mild-tempered and gentle. These guys and gals move through life in a manner that can hardly be considered direct. Mars is a planet of action and assertion, and Pisces is a passive sign that rarely asserts itself in a direct fashion. So, the placements of Mars in Pisces is an unusual combination. Sometimes prone to feelings of guilt about their anger and difficulties with asserting themselves, Mars and Pisces individuals seem to go with the flow. This certainly is not a very active position for Mars, and natives will often let life happen instead of trying to control their life directly. control their life direction. This is a charming position as individuals with Mars and Pisces don't appear like they are capable of harming a fly. However, those all right, I just lost my place. I hate that. Like the people harming. However, those who don't find creative expression for this energy can stir up a storm through indirect aggression. Mars and Pisces people are not adverse to playing games to get what they want, although even they don't always know exactly what they do want. Their desires are changeable and moody, and it's hard to really know where these natives stand on any particular issue. Alternatively, some Mars and Pisces people do take a stand on issues that are Piscean in nature, making compassion and love their mission. Energy levels fluctuate a lot, coming in bursts of activity followed by inertia, because it can be difficult to align the ebbing and flowing of energy to the day-to-day world as it is. Finding a job that supports this may be tough. The happiest Mars and Pisces individuals are those that have a creative outlet that allows them to express their desires of the moment, their compassion, and even their anger freely, and imaginatively. An example of Mars and Pisces is Bono, lead singer of U2, who seems to have found the perfect outlet for creativity through his music and as a spokesperson for love and compassion. And then we get into the houses again. I'm not going to go into the houses because I will get to those in a minute. It's easier because they have a whole page just on the houses, so I'm going to focus on that. Opposition between Mars and Pluto. I'm just skipping over a lot of this because of time. If you want to go through these details, there's so much. Jupiter is in Virgo. Hello, the first of these. Jupiter represents expression, expansion, and grace. Jupiter is in Virgo. She attracts the most good fortune when she is helpful, honest, orderly, and pays attention to details. The service industries, nutrition, and health are prosperous avenues. Practical and technical knowledge and skills are the most valued. A real problem solver, and others appreciate her help. Doesn't always feel lucky or especially ambitious. Rather, hard work is valued. Okay, yeah, that's true. So, again, it's kind of funny to see that I do have Virgo in my chart, and so did Patty, but the problem is Patty kind of, I had problems with some things. Saturn is in Aries. Self-consciousness can be a problem. Must learn to develop self-confidence. Is bothered by the me-first attitude in others, but must learn that me-first is sometimes necessary in moderation. Okay, so that's the sign of contradiction, contraction, and effort. All right, so Uranus represents as individual liberty and egotistic liberty. It's in Virgo again, the second V. It says, interested in nutrition, open to new ways of doing a job or working schedules. She seeks attractive, alternative healing methods, treatments, and methods. She does not immediately trust the strict, overly traditional approach to health and work. She can have some troubles accessing her intuition since logic and rationality often dominate. Okay, so I'm going to talk about which houses again. So I'm just going to go through this real quick here. Okay, Neptune represents the transcendental liberty, non-egotistic liberty. Neptune is in Scorpio. Hi, Pop. Willing to look beyond the superficial, may confuse intensity and compassion. Okay, that's not much to say there. Really, it's kind of small. Pluto represents transformations, mutations, and elimination. Pluto is in Virgo, the third Virgo. Research and investigation come naturally. May worry about health. Yeah, okay. Well, So we're just gonna. What is Lilith? Lilith is Black Moon. Lilith represents our darker, deeper natures that may be repressed or buried. Lilith is in Taurus. Can have a hard time feeling truly satisfied or sated, but can also appear the state of wanting. Perhaps they were penalized or criticized for being slow, savoring things, or enjoying and indulging themselves. Fear of loss can lead to possessiveness, understanding and accepting the very human desire to own and have, and expressing these things moderately, and responsibility can be empowering. Now, North Node, South Node. I don't know anything about this node stuff, so this is new to me. But let's just take a look at what the description says, just real quick here. The South Node represents our overdeveloped character traits. We are talented here, but if we overdo this area or life or hold on to these traits to feel secure, we may stagnate. The North Node points to the qualities that we need to work on and develop and achieve inner balance and fulfillment. All right, so let's take a look here. North Node is Aries. She is brilliant at mediating and cooperating, but in the first of life, she learns many lessons regarding codependence, indecision, and fear of making errors or striking out independently, perhaps the hard way. For happiness and success, she must discover and embrace her independence and build confidence in her decisions. Qualities to develop self-confidence, assertiveness, and decisiveness. Okay, and then we talk about North Node and the fourth house. I'm not going to go into that. Now, let's go to the houses specifically, because this is where I think it's really important to understand. House 1 is the area of self-identity. The ascendant is a symbol of how one acts in life. It is the image of the personality seen in others and the attitudes that one has towards life. Okay, it is Aquarius with a Sagittarius ascent. Now, this is very important. Okay, so she is confident, charismatic, and lively. She can be opinionated, restless, and stubborn, but also bright and ready for an experience. Hopefully, there's a strong earth in her chart to help ground her, full of ideas, but not always ready to follow through on them. She is independent with friends, free and friendly. Freedom means everything to her. She celebrates the individual and is a true humanitarian. Can be an excellent teacher or guide. She loves to enlighten others, sometimes blunt in her desire for truth. Now, I know I read some of this before, but as I said, I'm going to go in order here. Ascendant is Sagittarius. The world is filled with adventure, new things to experience, and most of all, hope with this ascendant. There is an unmistakable faith and enthusiasm with Sagittarius rising people. Grand schemes, big promises, and a willingness to explore and experiment are themes. Although follow-through is not a strong characteristic of Sagittarius, these individuals are somewhat restless and often active people. They always seem to be looking for something that just is out of grasp, and many do this their entire lives. They can be quite direct at times, yet are likable enough to forgive their faux pas. Most have a lot to say and offer. Their insights and opinions are usually interesting and exciting, although sometimes lacking in detail. Sagittarius rising people have opinions about everything, and they just love telling others exactly what they are. Not all people with this position are outgoing folk, but they have way of moving about that at least exudes a certain level of confidence. Some might even call them naive, or overly optimistic. Even the quiet ones don't shrink from life and from experience. One of the most obvious and endearing traits of Sagittarius rising is the willingness to keep a sense of humor. Even when they are feeling low, They manage to find humor in life and have fun with whatever they do have. The placement of Sagittarius ruling planet Jupiter will give more clues to how they go about expressing themselves. Jupiter in Capricorn, for example, might have more, might give a more sarcastic approach, but underneath there lies an unmistakable hope and spirit for living. House 2, the second house, is the area of material security and values. It rules money and personal finances, sense of self-worth, and basic values, personal possessions. Capricorn is in house 2. A cautious approach to money and personal finance possessions. Financial success may be slow but steady. A hard worker. Savings are important. Patience with accumulating. Money situation improves with maturity. House 3, the area of social and intellectual learning. Pisces is on house 3. Ideas are somewhat changeable, and her humor as well. Travel, sea voyages, or work connected with the sea. Okay, which I do like traveling by the ocean, so in my ship. So yeah, house 4 is the fourth house, is the area of home, family, roots, and deep emotional self-worth. Aries on house 4. Lots of authority within the family. She knows how to take the destiny of the family in hand to take charge. She is very energetic, very strong, knowing how to cope with life setbacks. House 5, the fifth house, is the area of creative self-expression, romance, and entertainment, children, and gambling. Why gambling? All right, well, that's what's in there. It says here, Taurus on house 5. A pleasant home, a charming partner, a loving and sweet children, nice little meals. Okay, if they come out of a microwave, probably, or the oven. Pleasant evenings with loved ones, the good life. Yeah, probably like that, but don't promise she kind of fucked up with that. Okay, house 6, the sixth house, the area of learning by material transaction. Now, what does that mean? Gemini on house 6. Good assistant, sales rep, jack of all trades, weak point, the nerves, sometimes also the lungs. Yeah, I got asthma. All right. House 7, the seventh house, is the area of one-to-one relationships, such as management, marriage, and partnership, and of social and intellectual action. Gemini on house 7 is can marry a partner quite young. A second partnership may have less passion, but a lot of friendship. Can be frightened to living alone at old age. Yeah, I am actually. She may actually prefer others to do the talking. Oh, not really. I usually do most of the talking. Oh, no, you don't. I do. House 8, the eighth house, the area of emotional security and of security of the soul. Cancer on house 8. Small inheritance possible. She usually plans well for old age. House 9, the ninth house, is the area of learning that shapes the identity. The big Virgo, big V. She is devoted to all causes that bring comfort to help people in difficulty. House 10, the 10th house, is the area of material action. The midheaven represents the work one will do in one's life, the place one will take the world of society. It becomes more important as one grows older. Libra is on house 10. Contacts of all kinds will lead to social success, professionalism, through marriage, etc. She likes society, life, friendship, and could help professionally. Sometimes jobs connected with justice are frequently involved with important and influential people. House 11, the area of search for social intellectual security. Scorpio in house 11. She likes to debate endlessly with friends who don't share her ideas. The discussions can lead to words or even verbal sparring. House 12, the 12th house, area of education and emotion. This is where we meet our karma, deal with endings, and sometimes where we bury things. Sagittarius is on house 12. Problems abound or with foreigners or problems abroad or with foreigners or flight abroad excel as possible in extreme cases. I don't know what to make of that, but it goes on and it shows the actual diagram. If you can figure it out, this thing, it's quite complex, okay? And it goes on and on and on. I don't want to go into all the details. There's just a lot of data. The thing that makes this whole thing fascinating for me is the Virgo. It's because I see that because as an Aquarius, I didn't realize I had so much Virgo in my chart. I do. It's weird. I didn't really thought about it. How much Virgo I have in my chart? 4 Virgo signs. I didn't want to discuss Patty's chart. I wanted to discuss mine today. But the whole point is it's just a lot of information. It's incredible. It's incredible how much information is out there in the chart. And I just loved finding out about this chart. It was like really mind-opening and exciting. I was just thought, wow. I read that. I was like, I got so much damn Virgo on my chart. It's embarrassing. It's not, at least the Virgo in my chart is not the kind of Virgo that is excessively worried about ultimate perfection, except in the areas of knowledge. Learning is very much like a Virgo. Love learning, love digging into facts, I love ripping into the meat of the subject. Absolutely. One of my favorite things to do, and it has always been something I've loved in my life, is learning. So the thing was as amazing as covering all that stuff. By the way, sorry, my hair looks like crap. I actually got to get it retouched. How? I don't know. I have no idea how we're going to retouch that hair. But that's another story. The chart, the full detailed chart is online. I did post it. I will post a link to it again so that you can see it. Okay? So this is just a kind of a short end description of it. If you want to read the whole chart, that's fine. Right now, like I said, I have not figured a way to easily edit these. So, because the Final Cut Pro 10 I have, it only works with El Capitan. It doesn't work with High Sierra. So I would have to go ahead and buy a copy of Final Cut Pro 10 that works with High Sierra from Apple, and that's $299. Knowing my rat luck, it's going to probably require El Capitan or Catalina, because Sierra is kind of passe right now. But that's something for the future. Is I will be eventually upgrading to Catalina using on my 2008 firmware updated 5.1 Mac, but yeah, that's something for later. So it's just really, really funny to see the chart as I showed you. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. I don't know everything about this. This is all new to me. All the houses, all the signs, just so much information that I find it absolutely overwhelming. But I thought I would share it with you anyway. So don't be afraid to ask your questions, guys. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.